our brain, like the connections in our brain, like this number, it's a larger number than the stars in the Milky Way galaxy. So if every neuron represents a star in the Milky Way galaxy, we have more. We have more neurons than the stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, this information is also pretty important because before we try to gather the breathwork part, you must understand what will it do to your mind. Yeah, like why should you do this? And the reason why, it's because our mind is extremely active and it's extremely sophisticated, but without us taking part in this sophistication, okay? Because just automatically, on average, every person has 70,000 to 90,000 thoughts per day. And we make on average 35,000 decisions on a daily basis. And if you try to recall all your thoughts during the day and all your decisions, nobody can count that many, okay? Some people made experiments and they maybe could recall just 1,000 of them, or like 5,000 of them maximum, which brings us to this. Statistically speaking, 90% of our thoughts every single day, they're the same, okay? And 80% of all our thoughts are negative. Every single human being, on average, we are more similar with one another than we think. By default, we're all pretty similar. And the reason we have such a high number of similar thoughts, it's because our brain, the only thing that it cares about is for you to survive, and it's for you to not feel pain, okay? But your brain doesn't care about you being happy, or you enjoying your life, or you, trying to live your life in a better way. It doesn't care about it because it's not its goal. The goal of the brain is to bring you to the point of survival with the least energy wasted. And that's why by automating thoughts, by recycling the same thoughts over and over again, day by day, every single day, we save a lot of energy. And the brain is the organ which consumes the most energy in your body, okay? And that's why it's so hard for us to change. Like, how could we change if every single day, day by day, we think the same things, we do things the same way, we pick up our cup with the same hand, we brush our teeth in the same way, we go to our work in the same in the same direction, we open our laptop in a certain time, we go to bed after watching Netflix in a certain time, and our life is pretty much automated. But at the same time, we won't change. At the same time, we can't say that, oh my God, I enjoy my life. Like, my life is so amazing, I just love it. It's because our biological computer, our brain, does not allow us to enjoy life automatically. Yeah, it's not what's given. It's something that we must, if we want to, we must find our own way to basically help our mind to extract it. And 80% of our thoughts are negative. This is pretty simple. Negative information, for our brain, it is information which we can use to survive. Because the more you are able to see, the more bad things you're able to see around yourself, although it works the contrary, yeah. But for the brain, the more bad things we are able to spot in the outside environment, it thinks that we have a higher chance to survive. And for that, we have a pretty strong evolutionary reason. Of course, I'm sure all you've heard about stress response, fight or flight, and these terms, but essentially what it means that your mind, your brain, cares so much about you surviving because it's been doing it for thousands of years prior to us having the modern life in a physically safe environment, yeah? Because nowadays, the majority of us are physically safe most of our life, yeah? Of course, there are some, exceptions and things like that, but if we kind of like take on average, especially in Western countries, most of people are safe every single day. But our mind, it's been evolutionizing, it's been developing when we're facing physical dangers on a daily basis. That's why this biological computer, it still doesn't understand that we do not have physical threats in the environment, okay? But every time our ancestor, let it be this amazing woman, every time our ancestor met this type of threat in the environment, she was going fight or flight, all the energy to the body, fight the lion or run away. And for her to survive, for her to do this, she must use all possible power, all possible mental space to monitor where the lion is coming from. And that's why our mind is so used to monitoring the bad things. And of course, media knows that, like the highest ratings are on the most horrible stuff. I mean, if you are to talk on the TV about things which are happening good, you will have 0 to low ratings. And it's not a conspiracy theory that media wants us to be slaves and blah, blah, blah. It's just normal commercial sense. Media is a business. You open up your TV channel. You want to pay your salaries. You want to pay, you want to pay people to work for you. You want to make it a successful venture. And then you see which type of content gives you maximum views. It means that you can sell maximum ads, and it means that it will be a successful venture. And we live in a capitalistic society, yeah? So it's not even a conspiracy. It's just normal psychological thing which makes sense. If you show the most threatening information on TV, the more people will be inclined to watch it, just because our brain loves it, adores it's just it needs no more. It needs just watch what bad things are happening around the world, because for some reason, in a very, very funky way, it still thinks that you're watching out for potential threats, for potential lions. And if you are able to spot them, and if you are able to learn about them very fast, constantly, 24/7, it means that for some reason you are safer and you have a higher chance to survive, okay? This is the biological computer that we inherited, and we must know that it works this way. I mean, it's because it's not you, yeah? It's not you which is drawn to these things. It's the just construction of your body, and we can't go into a spiritual kind of like world that you're not your body, you're not your mind, yeah? You're the awareness, you're something else. You are able, only we as humans, we are able to observe ourselves, we are able to observe our behavior. And that's why when we behave in a very strange way and then we feel bad, we think, oh my God, why did I do this? No animal can do this, okay? Only humans can observe the experience. Yeah? And that's why it's so crucial to understand where our thoughts, our actions and behaviors are coming from. And this is just a one-on-one thing. So nowadays, all these lines, they just transitioned to different psychological threats. And that's why for your mind right now, there is no difference between seeing all this crazy news on the internet and on TV, or receiving bad emails from your colleagues, or receiving criticism from your manager, or whatever happens, our mind perceives it as a survival threat, as a threat to our survival. And that's why we have so many, I call them like psychosomatic illnesses, like illnesses which have no medical way to cure them. They're like a systemic thing which happens with the whole body when the whole body starts to function in a way that it shouldn't. And if we look at the statistic, we can see how, for example, autoimmune diseases rise drastically, different chronic conditions rise and things like that. And there are a lot of studies which connect the way we live our life, the way we experience our emotions on a daily basis, the way we express the emotional patterns and behaviors, they pretty much affect our physical health because it's all united. Yeah, it's all one system. Yeah, you can't be having a perfectly healthy body with like perfectly unhealthy one thing in the body. Yeah, it's the whole system which works this way. And so that's why when you start thinking about your behavior in like an observant manner and understand where these things are coming from, and just, you know, ask questions like, okay, what it is that I do on a daily basis, what it is that I think on a daily basis may bring such an imbalance to my body. And like, I'm not a doctor, yeah, so I do not give any medical advice ever, but I was a witness of many, many, many cases when people were able to flip their conditions from having a condition to not having a condition in a matter of days. See, sometimes it happens, and it's called, I think it's called spontaneous remission or something like that, but it's a very, very curious thing. Okay, so why breathwork, you mean, yeah? So breathwork is one of the tools which helps us to bridge the gap between expressing the behaviors that we have to making an action which would make sense for our whole system to become more harmonious and a better system. And it would work, like the whole system would work better if we can use tools like breath work to basically bring ourselves from our thoughts and from our horrible stories that we are reciting in our minds to our body, so we can observe our behavior and find the root cause and, in a best case scenario, change it. Okay, so this stress response, which we are so used to experience for so many reasons that we just discussed, this stress response wears and tears our body so much because it is designed for emergencies. It is not designed as a, you know, as a daily, like as a daily way of life. And if we use things which are designed for emergencies on a daily basis, we wear out our body pretty fast. And this phrase, my mentor always says to me that, like, Daria, what you practice, it grows stronger. Whatever you practice. If you practice every day your stress response, this grows stronger. And every time something happens, it would be easier and easier for you to get into the stress response, okay? Same thing with a lot of things that you practice. If you practice being kind to yourself on a daily basis, if you practice maybe disciplining yourself in some ways, if you practice asking yourself questions why you do certain things, everything that you do, this is the practice, and it grows stronger. And so the benefits of the breath work as a tool is actually to get rid of stress responses, get rid of this wear and tear on our body, which happens when we are constantly stressed and when we are basically living in this survival mode, which our brain easily caters to us. The physical benefits are reduces blood pressure, and blood pressure goes up when we are like agitated and trying to think about what to do. It lowers cortisol. Cortisol, it's a special chemical substance in our body, which essentially forces us to fight or flight. It also stabilizes heart rate variability, so hearts start to beat more stably. And mental benefits always go hand in hand with physical. Yeah, if mentally something becomes better, it means that physical health is also improving, and vice versa. Mental benefits helps recover from chronic stress and anxiety, increase attention span, releases tension. So all these good things which we pretty much need for increasing quality of life on a daily basis. And also I love this neuroscience doctor, Dr. Alan Hobson. He's leading brain researcher at Harvard, and he always says that the breath is the link between involuntary unconscious and voluntary conscious processes in our bodies, okay? We'll talk about this a little bit later. Right now, I want you to practice with me for a couple of minutes this type of breath work, which helps you reset your brain from feeling stressed and agitated to becoming more aware of your body and to essentially switch yourself from the stress response to a kind of like normal life without such a high degree of stress. And the way this breath work works, with this breath work, we pump a lot of oxygen to our brain, okay, and to our body. And this oxygen, it's being used by our blood to circulate our blood faster, to oxygenate our organs. And then you can feel the effect on yourself, okay? So I would ask you put one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, like that. And let's do just 2 deep breaths before we start a quick 2-minute exercise. Let's do just 2 deep breaths. Inhale all together. Inhale into your belly first, then into your chest, and exhale through your mouth. It's just a preparation. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, inhale. And then exhale. Okay, so the way this breath works, you inhale through your belly, only using your mouth. Okay, we are using only mouth for this breath work. It looks like that. Inhale into your belly. Then second inhale into your chest. And then exhale all together through your mouth. Okay, and you may do it sitting, you may do it standing, anything works. I do it seated. Inhale through your belly, chest, exhale, belly, chest, exhale, belly, chest, exhale, belly, chest, exhale, belly, chest, exhale. We are using only our mouth. I'll put 2-minute timer on my phone, so we can start. 3, 2, 1. I'll be telling you when we are halfway and when we have 15 seconds left. Okay, let's start. Inhale through your belly, chest, exhale, 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 belly, chest, exhale. Continue on your own. We are 35 seconds in. Continue the breath. We have a little bit more than 30 seconds left. We have about 15 seconds left. About 5 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's it. This was 2 minutes. Let's do just 2 deep breaths, normal breaths through your nose and through your mouth. Exhale. Inhale through your nose. Through your mouth. Exhale. You may feel different sensations in your body. Normally what people feel is like tingling, being lightheaded, feeling a little bit of more freedom in the body. So yeah, this is the tool which is accessible to you right now. And you can use it on demand, okay? On demand when you want to switch your brain from a non-desired behavior to a desired behavior, okay? This is a little trick. And that's pretty much it, which I want to tell you during this short workshop. And if you're curious to continue learning more about how you can define what you want, achieve what you want, and increase your quality of life, I do a free program which starts on March 1st. And I don't advertise this program at all. So all people who are there, they're literally like the lucky people who in some way learned about it. And I've been in this program as my contribution for, I think, about 2 years, and about 1,000 people have been, have completed it with amazing results as increased quality of life, amazing opportunities coming their way. And it all happens because we are able to bring more awareness in our life and ask ourselves questions that we haven't asked ourselves probably never. And it's really easy for us to just do the same things day by day, day after day, without seeing a big picture, without understanding where this big bright future is coming from. But it's definitely there for all of us. And if you're not believing in that, there is some work to be done in order to start believing in it. And when you start believing it, I'm all about like things that we can measure, that we can access with our logic. And I never ask people to believe in something. I always bring people to a point where they start believing in themselves. And when you do, this is where many opportunities that you haven't been noticing before becoming noticeable for you. And this is how you improve your life and you start actually enjoying living your life. Yeah, that's it from me. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat.
Thank you for that, Daria. That was a really, really good breathing session. I enjoyed that. I hope everybody else enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So yeah, if you have follow-up questions, you can just message me on Instagram. Otherwise, I don't want to hold up. I know it's late for you, and I try to, condense everything as much as I can. But yeah, it was my pleasure. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. And it's, every time you invest in yourself and you do it with in a quality manner, this all pays off and it all accumulates, because what we practice, it grows stronger.